Stay tuned and let's open and take a closer look at the G.I. Joe classified Cobra HISS, Driver, Tactician and Gunner. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who, and remember now you can hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today we are going to open up and take a closer look at all three of the individual figures that came packed with the G.I. Joe classified series Haslab Crobra HISS tank, which is of course the Driver, who was part of the initial base offering, the Tactician, which was the early bird unlock, and then the female Gunner was an additional unlock. We did actually get everything with this campaign that was available to us, including the fourth unlock, which was a G.I. Joe classified series retro carded Cobra Commander, which is a tribute to that Mickey Mouse misprint on the Cobra logo. But I don't think I can bring myself to open this. The cardstock is very nice. We will take a closer look in this video, but I am going to open these three up to display with my HISS tank that I was already opened. There is a video on the channel right now, an unboxing video that takes a look at the HISS tank, the dimensions and all of the features straight out the packaging. So go and check that video out on the channel already. I'll put the link in the description. Today we are focusing on these three individual figures, and of course we'll do some comparisons, check out the accessories and all of that. So Driver, Gunner, Tactician, all three of them are part of the G.I. Joe classified sort of checklist. They are all numbered boxes. Unfortunately, it was during the plastic-free era, so we do just get the artwork. That is the same artwork on the front of the box. It does say Haslab on the front, so you know exactly where you can get them. So we have the Tactician, which is 100. The Driver is 99 and the female Gunner is 101. And what's special about 100, which is crazy, we have 100 figures in the classified line, is a tribute to Ron Ruda, and it actually has a signature of Ron Ruda on the front as well. And that was a fan voted color scheme as well, but I'll get into that when we open them up. So I will look at these individually. You can see the schematic on the back of the box. It matches the schematic that's on the underneath of the actual HISS tank box as well. You do get some accessories of all three. So as I said, let's do this properly, shall we? Look at these individually one by one, and let's start off with the base offering. And you can't drive a HISS tank without the Driver. Here we have the Driver straight out of the packaging with his accessories on the table, and I won't bore you with the details, but he does have the same packaging as the plastic-free era. You get the cardboard little coffin that you have to clip him out of, and then he does have a weapons crate cardboard box with his number on as well to store the weapons if you want, but it's essentially packed just like that. So you take that out, you get the figure, and then he has a set of interchangeable fisted hands, which is a nice surprise. I forgot he included them, and that is not something we see regularly in the classified line. Definitely something they should implement on every classified figure moving forward. But yes, some interchangeable fisted hands, and then he comes with two guns. I'm not a gun expert, but I can confirm they are weapons of some sort. You get a gun with a knife and then a pistol which will fit into his holster. Let me get the tape measure out so we can see what we're dealing with. As you would expect, standard classified size, about 6.5 inches to the top of his helmet. Let's take a closer look. The helmet's nice enough with some interesting sculpted elements. You can't see anyone under there, so technically it can be anyone you want. It has the black mouth guard and then the chrome visor, which does protrude out a little bit from the helmet on an angle. You can see it there, a little bit of sculpted detail underneath. That continues round on the glossy red helmet, and then you can see some sort of sculpted sort of snake pattern going across the helmet and then sits on the front like so. I definitely think that's meant to resemble a snake, but yeah, nice helmet. I'm assuming we can pop that off and you could put on any classified character's head onto that net peg, no problem at all. So there you go, Driver helmet. In regards to the rest of the body, you have this sort of, I guess, vest plate body armor that sits over the body, so you've still got all the regular articulation under there. You've got like this purpley blue sort of colour with the chrome snake logo. That same bluey purple is also on the belt buckle there. You've got all the straps with the reds and the blacks all the way around, as you can see. The red arms, the black gloves, gauntlets, etc., black belt. On this side, though, you do get some nice details, some sort of readouts on that wrist piece which is nice enough. A little bit of goldy yellow there, a bit of green. So I do like that little tiny detail. You can read some readouts on his arm. Maybe the HISS tank is remote and he can control it just from that. Who knows? You get this harness here for the pistol, and then he's wearing these shiny black mechanical thigh-high boots. I don't know how else to explain them. I think that is an accurate sort of explanation for this sort of fantasy design. But there is some nice articulation hidden here. There is actually an ankle swivel just above the pivot and rocker there. So more articulation than it would seem. The figure, by the way, is completely pinless, and we know that matters in this day and age. Double jointed pinless elbows and arms. The arms do, the shoulders do go all the way up, sorry, no problem at all spinning them around. You get the bicep swiveled as well, and then the double jointed elbows, no problem at all. Again, completely pinless. You get the black elbow pads there as well. Really nice butterfly joint as well. Again, hopefully you can see that underneath the armor. If I stick the arm out, you can see nice wiggle room on the butterfly joint as well. And then under that harness, there is the regular ball joint at the waist. So that's where you're going to get your swivel and a little bit of tilt, of course, as well. And then there's an ab crunch under there as well. So if I lift that up, you can see the ab crunch. So it's limited a little bit by the actual vest, but you can still crunch down because of the waist, and then back a lot more. So really nice articulation on this guy. They do have the drop down hips as well. As you can see, they will drop down. And if I zoom out, you can see his legs go virtually 90 in both directions. Double jointed pinless knees, really nice to see. So great range of articulation for a character that I'm technically just going to have sitting down in the HISS tank in my display. And just to squash any rumours right here and now, he absolutely can sit in the driver's seat, no problem at all. Yes, the strap is a little bit tight, but just be careful with it. Heat it up if you want to with a hairdryer, but I put mine in the seat, strapped him in, no problem at all, straight out the packaging. He will sit in there and hold both of the controls on either side of the HISS tank as well. So yes, the rumours of it snapping is not true, at least for me. I can only speak from my experience. So yeah, he sits in the seat, no problem at all. What else does he get? He has his 2 weapons. So out of the box, he has a set of trigger finger hands, and both of them have the up and down hinging as well, which is good to report. You get this tiny little pistol, which is very small, but it does have the hole in the front if you want to put blast effects in there. And also, I noticed that this actual readout piece is a separate piece that will come off the wrist if you take the hand off. But if I take the gun off for a second, I can actually plug it into the harness on the actual thigh, that thigh holster there. And if you wanted to take that off, I guess you could pop it up at the thigh. Did I show you the thigh swivel? There is a thigh swivel. The other gun is a bit thicker. His hand is quite big, but he will fit in there, no problem at all, and hold it. And I'm assuming the butterfly joint will allow us to get him holding it two-handed as well. But the gun is all black with a little bit of chrome for the handle, for the knife, sorry. And it also does have the hole at the top, so you can put blast effects in there as well. And I'm happy to report it's not flimsy and soft. Like, it does feel a little bit harder. So I don't know if they've changed the style of plastic for these Haslab figures, but I assure you that is not as flimsy and as gummy as some of the classified weapons we've been getting recently. So hopefully that's a sign of the future, but I guess time will tell. But a nice solid looking gun for me anyway. And finally, he comes with a set of fisted hands, which, as I said, is rare for the classified line, but I like it. I hope it's something we see more of. They are odd though, so the hands pop off, no problem at all. There you can see the regular hand. This one though is very thick. It's like it's an actual, like, thicker weapon. Like, it doesn't have any articulation on it. It's just a peg that plugs in, so there's no hinge for up and down or side to side. It just literally clips on over the wrist, and then that's it. No articulation on the hand. It's like it's an actual weapon, to be fair. Maybe it is like some sort of mechanical boxing glove of some kind, but this one has to actually clip over the schematic thing. I can actually, as I said, show you that comes off now. So there's the actual readout that comes off. You can put it on a different character, and then yeah, there you go. There's the hand clipping in to give you 2 fisted mechanical gloves. And before I move on, just a couple of corrections. Earlier I said that both of the hands had the up and down hinge, but actually only the right hand has the up and down hinge for the gun. The other one is regular side to side, and also the actual ammo stack does come off of the gun as well, if you count that as an additional accessory. And I've also put the readout on the other wrist for a few posing options. Let's move on to the Tactician. Now this was the early bird unlock, and once it was unlocked, everyone who backed the HISS tank was able to vote for their preferred colour scheme during this poll. As you can see on screen, there were 6 different options. All of them are quite unique. I don't hate any of them, but I do think the community voted for the version that complemented the HISS tank's colour scheme the best, with still being quite unique compared to the gunner and driver, as it is basically a straight up repaint of the driver. There is no difference apart from the colour from the driver, even down to the accessories. Everything is exactly the same. Sculpt, articulation, accessories. The only difference is the colour scheme. I'll throw up a side by side so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. It is exactly the same figure as the driver. It is just the colour that is different. So no need to do a deep dive on this one. You know what the articulation is, you know what the accessories are and what the sculpt is, but we'll take a quick look. So the heads or the helmets are exactly the same sculpt, the same color. They are wearing the same helmet. The difference is the color on the body. Now he has the glossy black sort of vest piece with the red logo compared to the blue and chrome, but otherwise exactly the same figure. If I zoom out a little bit so you can see what's going on, he's got the red belt now, a bit of red highlights down there on the boots, but yes people, it's exactly the same figure, even on the back, exactly the same holster, same sort of readout accessory, but a different color of course. So yeah, these are the same figure, even down to the accessories. As I said, the accessories are exactly the same, it's just the Tacticians have a little bit more red on them compared to the driver. Next up, we have the female gunner, who is essentially the female equivalent of the driver in regards to the style and design. At the time of this being announced, it was one of the first sort of female troopers, but since then, we have had the Valkyries, which I do think share some similar parts. Her loadout is definitely the best though, as she comes with 3 weapons, she comes with 2 tools, and she also gets a set of fisted hands, which is nice to see. So of course, we'll take a closer look at this one, but let me move those accessories out the way and see how tall she actually is. So she is about 6¼ inches in height. And just real quick before we zoom in, I'll bring in the driver so you can see what we're dealing with. So the driver is a little bit bigger and taller, as you would expect, but they are essentially a nice pair complementing the HISS tank. Let's zoom in. So at first it seemed that this helmet was just a scaled down version of the driver, and it is scaled down, but it definitely has more sculpted detail. As you can see, the sort of mouth plate has some sculpted detail. You can see the ear guards that weren't on the driver, and also that sort of snake has a little bit more detail as well. But their visor still protrudes out in that same awkward angle, and yeah, you can see here that they are similar in design, but the female trooper has more sculpted detail for sure. She also has the same sort of chest plate piece that goes over. She doesn't have an ab crunch though. She has the diaphragm cut just about there. Shoulder will go up, and there is a butterfly joint under there as well that you can utilize pretty well. Bicep swivel, double jointed, pinless elbows, nice range on there. She got the belt piece, she got the harness at the top of the thigh. She also has a readout piece on the forearm, and down to the boot she has the same sort of thigh high metal mechanical boots. She too has the swivel hidden in that sculpt with the ankle pivot and rocker. Pinless knees, which have a good range as well, to be fair. Does she have the drop down hips? I can't really tell, I don't think so, but her legs will go out pretty far and pretty forward, so she could probably be the driver if you wanted to as well. There is a thigh cut though as well. So yeah, the ball is at the waist too, so the ball is there, and then it's not a crunch, is it? It's definitely a, yeah, it's definitely a ball at the diaphragm and at the waist rather than a crunch, but you can still get a, actually not too much forward there. That's what you're getting essentially. There's a bit of wiggle room there, but the crunch isn't great, to be honest. But yeah, it's basically the female equivalent of the driver. First up, she comes with the exact same weapons that we have seen previously. As you can see, they didn't even scale them down. They are exactly the same. She also has the pistol with the hole in, so you could put blast effects, and of course, the harness piece that you can put in there as well. 2 trigger finger hands, and both time the trigger, the hand does hinge up and down rather than side to side, which is better for gun wielding poses. But she has extra accessories. Now, she is the gunner, so she absolutely needed some additional firepower, and they've gave her this gun, which is nice enough, but it's a little bit too big for the female figure, I think. This is probably better suited to the male figures. You can see it's a nice enough gun with some nice sculpted detail in it, but it is all black, and then it has this ammo drum that clips out of the bottom and then clips in like so. That actually does have some of the ammo painted in as well. So yeah, a nice enough gun. I'm not going to ever complain of getting extra guns. It has got the hole in for the front for effect pieces, but probably a little bit too big for the female figure. And all these accessories can be used with the other figures, of course, but these are who they are packed with. So she comes with this spade, which of course can be used to help dig the trenches out of ditches, or maybe dig for landmines, or even dig the holes and graves of the enemies. So yeah, it's basically just a black bit of plastic with some nice sculpted detail on it, but no paint or anything like that. As you can see, she can hold it with her hand, no problem at all. It is just a spade. She also has this medieval type bludgeoning weapon, this big sort of hammer with the sort of mace-like end, which is pretty cool looking, to be fair. It was a little bit warped out the box, same as the spade, to be honest. So I guess that plastic issue hasn't gone away entirely, but they're still okay looking. Again, both all black, and it has got nice sculpted details in. Both characters can hold it with both hands, of course they can. And yeah, just an interesting extra accessory. And then last but not least, she also comes with a set of interchangeable fisted hands. And unlike the males, hers are a lot more streamlined with the actual arm. Like, they don't like sort of grip around the wrist or anything like that. They're actually much better sort of flush with the actual base body. So yeah, it's nice to see the female also has some interchangeable hands. And there we have it, the driver, gunner and tactician. Now, getting the HISS tank itself is impressive enough, but to complement it with its own little unique unit is a very nice part of the purchase. We're also getting that fire squad as well eventually, so we can already imagine the big black and red display we're going to create in our Cobra sections of the shelf. Start clearing that real estate. But all 3 of these are very nice, but of course that ain't it. We do also have one additional figure, and I'm going to do it, people. I'm going to open the Cobra Commander. Right, that's it. Let's do it. I just can't do it, people. I can't bring myself to do it for a review that will probably barely hit 3,000. So I'm not doing it. I can't do it. The rumors are we are going to get a retro carded Cobra Commander, but what will make this one forever unique is, of course, the tribute to the Mickey Mouse reprint from back in the day. It does look very nice though, and I'm sure some more braver people out there have opened him up. He does come with a nice array of accessories. You can see he's got a pointing hand, a grabby hand so he can hold that globe with the snake wrapped around it, a couple of fisted hands as well, a knife, a gun, and of course that backpack to store those weapons. So a nice royal blue, definitely more classic looking. I still wish that Classified would give us the hooded version, but I doubt that would ever be the case. They should though, they should absolutely do it. So yeah, a nice classic looking Cobra Commander, but I'm not going to open it. It's forever going to be unique on this card. I will keep it like that. It is unpunched as well. It does look very nice. And as I said, the card is a much thicker card stock. On the back, you get no cross sale, but it does have the Cobra logo. It says Haslab, and of course you get the Cobra Commander's file card as well. So a very nice piece. Again, 3 figures plus a retro carded figure and a massive HISS tank. It is already going for double the price online of the initial offering. So if you missed out on the HISS tank, I really do hope you can get one, and it is a very nice piece for the Classified collection. Let's wrap up then with some comparisons. Nothing too crazy. Let's start off with some regular Cobra infantry troopers. Here we have 3 of my favorite Classified bad guys. It is of course Baroness, the Supreme Cobra Commander. I really like that red and black colour scheme, goes well with the HISS figures. And then of course Deathstroke. I wanted to see how well the red colour scheme of other Classified figures went with the HISS tank characters. So here we have a couple of Crimson Guards and a Crimson Bats, and I don't think it's too bad, to be fair. These would all definitely complement each other on a display, and I honestly could be here all day doing comparisons. So let's just wrap up with some Joes. It is of course Scarlet, Duke and Roadblock. I can't wait to get the retro accurate versions of these. And of course course, it wouldn't be Dan Who Reviews without some of the Who crew. So here we have Frogman, Tigra, Captain Britain, and Hal, Fire, Hank. So, final thoughts on this G.I. Joe classified series, Haslab HISS tank, Cobra driver, tactician, and female gunner. Now, the HISS tank itself was impressive enough, but to complement that with its very own unique team is a nice addition to the collection, and these will absolutely be on display with my HISS tank. And I know the driver and tactician are just a repaint from each other, but honestly, I don't mind, and it's always nice to add some more female characters to the line with the gunner. So I'm happy. You let me know what you think in the comments below, as always. And if you like G.I. Joes, then I will try and review more in 2024. I collect them just like you. It is just a matter of time. Sometimes I don't have the time to review, but I will try more in 2024. That rhymed. And if you want to check out more G.I. Joe content on the channel, I do a live stream called Joes and Juice, recapping all of the news in the classified world. Check out the playlist on the channel, and most importantly, please hit that subscribe button, hit all on the notification bell, don't miss out on a video, and please hit that join button, become a channel member, either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. And the unique thing about this channel, if you become a channel member at a certain level, you get to become part of the channel, beyond the channel. It is so simple. Hit that follow button on Instagram at It's Dan Who. I'm on Twitter at Dan Who Reviews, and as always, I will of course see you on the next one.